there's a couple games from last night that I want to do recaps for. We won't always do this, but when there's results as crazy as last night's were that we just didn't budget for mentally, we will sometimes spend segments of the show going back and kind of reassessing them. So I want to start with the Baylor Kansas State game. So it was a wild game. Kansas State at home. It felt like they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat twice. They were down, I believe, 6 points with 3 minutes left in regulation. Jerome Tang takes the timeout. Stellar run out of the timeout, sent it to overtime. And then in overtime, they were down 5 with a little over a minute left, I believe. They made every clutch play late. Baylor had a bunch of chances to ice the game. They never could do it. I think Kansas State's a pretty bad basketball team. They've
Hmm.
won 5 games in overtime. They're 13-4. Give them credit for winning at home. This is a big resume win. 13-4. 5 of your wins came in overtime. Like, that seems like someone's hot at the blackjack table. That's all. They keep hitting with 18 and they keep hitting it. It's just like, stop. Like, just win a game in regulation. Do you agree with me that Kansas State might not be that good, even though they're winning this game?
Yeah, a little cardiac cats action. But yeah, I think that this was a game that they, like you said, snatched from the jaws of defeat. And if I'm a Baylor player, supporter, whatever fan, whatever you want to call it, I'm a little bit disappointed that at this point of the season, with the older experienced guards they have, with Scott Drew as the coach, that they seem to have these issues like late game, I guess. Like even in the game that where they won at Oklahoma State, I thought there was a lot of interesting decisions made down the stretch by guards, which unfortunately Oklahoma State's guards are the same by giving it right back to them. But some odd decision making for guards who are very experienced and very good that I wouldn't expect out of a Scott Drew team. And like this one's got hurt somewhat. Like Scott Drew lost to his pupil. Like the master lost to his student.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerome Tang's 3-0 against Baylor now.
That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's impressive for sure. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, did Jerome Tang like make a deal with someone? Like, I can't process a team being 5-0 in overtime games.
If someone did make a deal, they would look like Jerome Tang. If that makes sense.
I don't want to flesh out what that means, but yeah, like my program's like 2-29 in close games in the last 4 years, and Jerome Tang's just 5-0 in overtime. I don't get it. I don't
Well,
get
I mean, to somewhat fact, they have a clutch player. Like I know Tyler Perry has struggled a little bit, but he does make clutch plays.
Doug's gonna play for Jerome Tang next year and do this. Like I don't get it. I'm not in on the personnel player stuff. I just yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was a weird game. I don't know how Baylor didn't win it. I was on After Dark with Field of 68 last night, and Chris Mack was on the show with us, and he just kept repeating like there were so many boneheaded plays by Baylor, just like fouling when they shouldn't foul. They fouled Arthur Kaluma on the 3-pointer. They hip checked Tyler Perry twice in the final 20 minutes of regulation and sent him to the free throw line. It's just weird. It's just very boneheaded, weird plays, which you would not expect from a Scott Drew team. Also, you don't expect a Scott Drew team to go 5 for 28 from three. At the end of the day, you shoot 5 for 28 from three in this game. You lose in overtime. Make 25% of your threes. You win the game.
Yeah, and also Baylor, one of the best shooting teams in the country, too. By the way,
Yeah.
shoot
Yeah.
five.
This is like with Baylor. I don't know. You and I were very out on them after the Michigan State game. I kind of like slowly swung back around on them where I could see them making a tournament run. I like that they have a superstar pro level guy in Jacoby Walter. A lot of teams don't have that this year. Ray J. Dennis has been awesome as a facilitator. He was only 2 for 15 from the floor last night. That's obviously not good, but they kind of have more defensively than I realized because Bridges is a very good defender, very versatile, and Missy has really come on as like an instant impact center in a way that Scott Drew hasn't had in a couple years. So all in all, like I want to believe in this Baylor team. The problem with them for me is like in their losses, they've just put up total stinkers. And I'm not convinced when the NCAA tournament gets here, even if they look good for the first 2 games, I don't think they can go 6 straight games without going like 4 for 30 from three.
Yeah. Like, and the thing is, we haven't seen a game where they go 4 for 30 like that and win. At
Yeah.
least in my like they don't. Good teams are able to overcome clunkers like on the road. It's like a find a way game, and honestly, not to play the moral victory banner, but like they found a way in this game. They just got to close it out. Like you had it. The fouls were the one that was Jaden Nunn hit the layup and like fouled. I think Perry like 60 feet from the basket, and he's a 94% 3-point shooter, a 3-point free throw shooter. That's just inexcusable stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy. Kansas State, are they a tournament team?
No.
They might end up getting there just because of how good the Big 12 is. They have the resume at this point.
Do they have they don't have any like bad losses?
I mean, they lost to Nebraska at home. That doesn't look great, but Nebraska's pretty good. Lost by 1 at Texas Tech. Nobody's going to kill them for that. Lost to Miami. Lost to USC earlier in the year. That's bad. But um, I don't know. They need to stack up some impressive wins, but that Villanova win's going to go a long way. Win over Providence will matter in the end. Um, Baylor right now is obviously a great win.
Yeah,
I don't know.
true. I guess they got
I
the
think they're there. And is Arthur Kaluma? We've done this for years. I feel like we're at the point where we almost need to reach a decision. Is he the best bad basketball player, or is he the worst good basketball player in college basketball?
he's the worst good player.
I've swung on that too. I used to think he was the best bad. He's officially good. He's just the worst good player
Yeah.
there is. Yeah. Yeah, same. Great shot by him though. That and 1-3 was big. Kind of won them the game.
I still want to make it very unequivocally clear though that the Big 12 team that will go the farthest in the NCAA tournament is Baylor.
I think that's a good call too. Last thing we just have to mention, if we're going to talk this game, we have to be honest about it. Couple big calls, as we said, couple foul calls, sent him to the stripe late, the 3-point foul. What did you think of the refs in this game?
I think the rest did great.
I thought they were good. Okay, let's move on.